Hey everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. Recognize this? We didn't sell it last year because we never got around to the rest of the soffits. So we're getting it done finally now. It's been a busy spring doing hay, and we had straw this last week, and we've had tons and tons of rain, and in the meantime, it worked out. The market has gone up, and houses are 20% higher in our area than they were last year. So no problem, it works out well. The problem is, I was here a few weeks ago and the neighbor told me there was a squirrel or something. Well, we get a lot of raccoons around this area. The neighbors all have berries and different things, and I've noticed some raccoon scats at the bottom of the tree. That's poo, if you don't know. So we went around, and he's doing the same job that he did on the front of house last year. Job was taking down the old eaves trough, and we had a spot here. There used to be a tree in this area before I bought the house, and there'd been a dent in it the whole time, but because this is the garage side, nobody ever did anything with it, and it was time to cosmetically make that improvement. Since we were on eaves troughs this last week, we said, well, we'll get back to here. We have one day with no rain. It's today, and it's 83 degrees. So he cut out the bad wood, and that's all sistered up and done what he needed to do. We have had this section of eaves trough. I actually found this for free on the side of the road, and it is going to fit the full length. So we're doing the wood repairs now, and hopefully he'll be able to get before dinner to the other end of this eaves. We have to go around all of the corners. The old cement is bad. So he's gonna cut some plywood here, and that's what I'm here for. Now this sheet of plywood is left over from last year. What was it, like $29?
20, this stuff was thinner. A little over 20. Because it's 3/8. We paid 27 something for half-inch last year.
Yeah, and they're running.
I saw a video where it hit 82 somewhere.
I think it was 60 or 70. Maybe.
Time we looked.
Yeah. Remember, the brake doesn't work on it or something.
Alright, let me go see about how it is.
That also was free. It's helping to cut down some of the work on this job. Thanks, bud. You can park it back in this section here where your dad's not working. Jack came along to mow for me. Bethany came along to keep her brother company. They like to leave the house every now and then. I've been cleaning up the edges of the driveway in the meantime. I had a free edger that came with that saw when I bought a lawnmower, and it just doesn't work great. And you know, when you're working on this stuff, it's really hard to get things to fit square. So, looks like you lost a little piece of your corner there.
I have it. It came with the...
Okay. This little, kind of like the same concept as a quarter round, but we never put it back up on the front because I was here painting on the last possible day to paint, and we have to put the window shutter back up on that section too. That's got a lot of curve to it, but it'll straighten out with the nails. Yeah. Real good.
I think it has to be flipped, maybe.
Now last year,
One more cut, but this is just the...
okay, dry fitting it.
Yeah, I think it must be, it's supposed to go like this. But see right here,
Yeah.
they had a little
So I'd say that's the way it goes.
All right, well, I'll show you while he's getting that fitted up here. Last year, it was like the very last day of above freezing temperatures, and we had done earlier that week this soffit section here and above the front porch. Now, to hide the seams, I used Durham's wood filler, and it dries like concrete hard. It looks like it held pretty well. Yeah, so I can only see a slight line there where I didn't use the wood filler. So that shows you what a difference it made. It didn't really crack out, so I guess I'm happy with that. Yeah. You can see a little bit of rust spots from the nail head, so maybe I'll hit that with another coat of paint. Paint can do weird things when you are right at that low temperature if it's not enough hours above. Let's check out this section here. Yeah, this side looks pretty good. Okay, so see there, that little, there's the trim. Here there's no trim, so we'll get that back up. And it's a funny corner, but with it being the front of the house, especially because they're the old aluminum storm windows, a lot of people are painting those now, but I really didn't want to commit to that. They're good windows and the storms have kept them in good shape, but it makes a difference with those shutters being on there, being off. At least I don't have to paint it. I'm happy for that. I got busy for a half a second while he was trimming, and I realized he was hammering. Ah. He marked his corner with an arrow right there because things are not square. So when he removed the bad piece, you did it with Sawzall, right? You just used a straight edge?
No, that was the...
Oh, it was a small corner? Yeah. Okay.
It's like that. I pulled it out and it was all crooked. So he had like caulking and mud around the edge, and we'll have to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's no problem. So we got a couple outer pieces right here to do on the front. You see that front board was rotting, and that's all because of that eaves-trough seam leaking, and so then that board failed. So we'll cut it to about here and replace that. I know that there's a slight gap there, and this is where we were using the wood filler before, more between the panels. We're gonna caulk that, so don't even worry about that. That's fine. And I know not all couples like working together, but he's been trimming some branches on this tree that were dead. Oh, I see another one right there. The city here does pickup twice a month for leaf pickup. So while he's doing that, I'm getting a coat of paint on this. It's going to take two. This paint is that not as nice paint that I got at Menards. Exterior paint. Oh, I don't even know where the label is. Dutch Boy DuraClean. Supposed to be one coat exterior. Oh yeah, it is paint and primer. Well, it's not great, but it'll do. It'll do. I'm not gonna have to paint it again. So he's gonna start in on that soffit repair right now, and I'm gonna get back to cleaning up more branches. I will tell you though, one thing about this work is it is slow fiddly work. He went ahead and he pieced this all back together. I'll go back another day with some wood filler, fill the holes, and do a touch-up paint on the trim. We got the shutter back up, and he noticed while he was up there, the corners were not anchored in at all. So we're gonna pick up another package of those and wait to do the rest of the eaves trough tomorrow. So he went over here on this outside corner, and same thing, wherever they had outside corners, for the most part, our inside corners, they didn't anchor them in really good. So that piece was just kind of sitting right there. And of course that piece is the one that was leaking so bad. This is my resolution right now. All right, so we're back the next day. We're kind of on and off in rain showers right now. But there is a black squirrel that thought this would be a good spot for her to have babies. We cleaned out a nest and caught her before she had her babies. My husband said he thought it looked like she was ready to give birth any minute, and she is determined that this is where she wants to be. We cleaned it out and got rid of all of her nesting material she was throwing up there. And while we were gone, she chewed it all up. So that's all where I painted yesterday. I went back to Menards today. The Home Depot corner was much smaller than the Menards corner. And instead of going all the way across to do the whole side sheet, he's using one of the connectors here, like what we did with the shorter 8-foot sections, just so that we don't have to replace all that corner because it's hard getting it out. And yeah, so I'm gonna climb up there and hold it for him. Do we have a measurement?
That's cut.
Oh, okay. Yep. So, in this case, yes, that's more than 8 feet and less than the full length. Okay, so is Trey just passing it to ya and we're putting it in? Okay. That noise you hear is the squirrel up in the tree. So we're gonna have to put some temporary flashing up here to keep her from gnawing on it and figure out wood filler wise how we want to fix that, because I don't want to take it all apart again. That was a lot of work. What a witch. Go build a new nest. We are at the tail end of finishing this up. It's a 2-person job as always, holding it up and lining it up. So I held that end while he got the seam all set, right up there. So right there's the seam, and I'll hit this other part with the power washer in a couple of days. But that's looking great. We have been spacing them about 2 feet apart.
Yep.
Good way to do it, nice and strong. Now this eaves-trough system has a high pitch in the center here, and it drains out the front and down, and the same at the back. And since we did get a good rainfall here, we were able to see where any caulking issues need to be addressed and any clogged downspouts. We saw a little bit of that going on. So we'll get that all cleaned out and fixed up, and he's just got, looks like 2 more screws to go. And then he'll go from eaves-trough guy to something else. He's done electrical today, maybe 1 more electrical. An easy electrical on that pull string. Yeah. Okay. We were just having a debate wondering if their miter from the factory is caulked or sealed in any way. And
I'll look when I get up there.
Without looking at it before he hung it up, I did the return on the Home Depot one and didn't really look. The Home Depot one was probably, it was really shallow. It was still the 5-inch size for the corner.
It was a joke.
But it only stuck out about 1 inch from their center miter, 2 inches maybe total. Where this one, you were getting about 4 inches of material in either direction. Basically, it wasn't going to line up with what we had. So right now, he's just using these gutter screws, and they're self-tappers to connect right here. And then that's where he'll seam. You don't have to have, you know, like a hanger, just a connector right there. And this is what we're using, self-piercing gutter screws. Now, you can get like machine screws, but they weren't self-tapping and they weren't white. So there was no point in trying to save $2 by having silver ones showing. The stuff comes in taupe, like a tan color, and then brown, and then white.
All right.
Handy repair there, guy. All right, well, that's how I'll show you that. We'll set a live trap for the squirrel or see if she decides to just go away on her own. But
Oh, I gotta put flashing up there. I'm not quite done. And we just fine.
yeah.
Take these. Got one more in my hand to put over there.
Yeah.
Might work.
So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.